I'm Cristiano Francisco and I will be discussing the topic entitled Foregrounding. So foregrounding is a concept of making certain features prominent in a text. So some linguistic features can be made prominent for special effects against the background features in a text. So foregrounding is the linguistic strategy of calling attention to certain language features in order to shift the reader's attention from what is said and how it is said. So foregrounding is a charm, attraction, beauty, and mean of strengthening a literature or the literature. So this is an example of foregrounding. So this is from E. Cummings' poem. So as we can see, the word that is foregrounding here, or the word that is being highlighted, is mankind. Mankind is a lexical deviation created by E. Cummings. So this word does not exist, and it is Cummings' creation to emphasize the cruelty or ruthlessness of modern mankind and to support the theme of his poem. So foregrounding can also be a design of the words or sentences. So it could either be unusual capitalization, bold words, contractions, underlining, picture or artworks, and many more. So foregrounding means to bring to the front. So it was borrowed from art criticism. So art critics usually distinguish the foreground of a painting from its background. The foreground is that part of a painting which is in the center and towards the bottom of the canvas. So as you can see here in the example, so the foreground is at the bottom, which you can distinguish from the background. It is usually the focus of the painting. So there are two types of foregrounding. So first is the deviation, and according to Wales, it is the violation of linguistic norms, and second is the repetition or parallelism, and it is the repetition of sounds or syntactic pattern. So here are some examples of deviation. So first is a metaphor for birthdays or New Year's, which is a year is born. So second is a metaphor for fast beating heart, and it is and my heart bell is ringing. So this is an example of repetition. So as you can see, the name Nate was repeated 2 times. However, repetition is not only limited to words. Repetition can be repeating sentences, and it is usually the most common kind of foregrounding writers use.
Good day, everyone. I am the last reporter of a topic foregrounding. And my name is Lanie Mendoza. I will just give a short description of foregrounding, and I will be discussing some different types of foregrounding. Here is the short description. Foregrounding is to bring something into light and to make the work of art eye-catching, forceful, and presentable. In short, it is the backbone of literature. Foregrounding is a significant literary stylistic device that the very essence of poetically lies in the deformation of language that draws attention to itself by way of its defamiliarization from everyday speech. And it is the practice of making something stand out from the surrounding words or images. So here are some types of foregrounding. First is anaphora. It is the repetition of a word or several words at the beginning of successive lines, clauses, or sentences. For example, to raise a happy, healthy, hopeful child, it takes a family, it takes teachers, it takes clergy, it takes business people, it takes community leaders, it takes those who protect our healthy and safety. So the anaphora here is the words it takes that have been repeated several times. So here is another example of anaphora. It's not the size of the dog in the fight. It's the size of the fight in the dog by Mark Twain. So, like what I had said, anaphora is an excellent rhetorical device for writers to reinforce or emphasize a concept. By repeating a word or phrase at the beginning of successive sentences or phrases, the concept represented by that word or phrase is highlighted and brought to the foreground for the reader. So, Mark Twain utilizes this reinforcement and emphasis in his famous quote, relating to the size of a dog in a fight to the size of fight in a dog. By emphasizing the impact of size through anaphora, Mark Twain is able to reinforce the concept that external physical size is less influential to an outcome than intrinsic passion and motivation. So another types of foregrounding is parallelism. It is the similarity of syntactical structure in neighboring phrases, clauses, sentences, or paragraphs. So, for example, let every nation know that we shall pay any price, bear any burden, meet any hardship, support any friend, oppose any foe to assure the survival in the success of liberty. So the parallelism here are pay any price, bear any burden, meet any hardship, support any friend, and oppose any foe, because these are figure of balance identified by a similarity in the syntactical structure of a set of words in successive sentences with the same or similar grammatical structure. So here is another example of parallelism. That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind, by Neil Armstrong. So that is a statement of Neil made as he stepped on the moon. So the structure of the two noun phrases in this sentence is similar due to the repeated use of one, or the word one. This engages the audience's attention and emphasizes the contrast between small step for man and giant leap for mankind. So the significance of the event and meaning of Armstrong's statement is enhanced through his use of parallelism. So another is triple. It is a kind of parallelism where words, phrases, or sentences are arranged in groups of three, or known as rule of three. So rule of three, it is a writing technique that suggests that a group of three examples is always stronger and more memorable than one. So for example, government of the people, by the people, and for the people. So they are a group of three examples that make them more engaging and always stronger than just saying government by the people. So the last one is the enumeration. It is the listing of words or phrases. It can stress a certain aspect For example, by giving a number of similar or synonymous adjectives to describe something. For example, many workers find their labor mechanical, boring, imprisoning, stultifying, and repetitive. Here, the workers enumerate synonymous adjectives to describe their labor, such as mechanical, boring, imprisoning, stultifying, and repetitive. And addition, writers use enumeration to elucidate a topic to make it understandable for the readers. So that will be all for our report. Thank you everyone and have a great day.